Israel has deliberately made Gaza uninhabitable. They say there is nowhere safe to go. World leaders must act now to prevent the evisceration of life.
In the wake of Israel dropping more evacuation leaflets and launching more strikes into Gaza City specifically, we have CNN reporting on mounting international pressure from NGOs and other countries recognizing Palestinian statehood on Israel to stop the genocide. So take a second, leave us a like on the video, helps us out a ton, gives us a boost in the algorithm, and let's hop right into some very crucial reporting.
20 major aid organizations are demanding urgent action in Gaza, saying world leaders must act now to prevent the evisceration of life. They say Israel has deliberately made Gaza uninhabitable, warning the catastrophic situation will get even worse as troops escalate an assault on Gaza City. Hundreds of thousands of people are still sheltering there, despite the IDF's evacuation demands. Others have left, but they say there is nowhere safe to go.
And the saddest part, obviously, is how the onslaught continues despite this, largely because Trump isn't going to mount any pressure and we're the big dogs. Even if the carpet bombing has slowed down, lots of things are still happening. Residential areas are still being targeted. Aid is still being withheld where possible. It was just weeks ago, Israel was regularly firing on people at aid trucks. I think it was over 100 killed at aid trucks within weeks. A fear, I'm sure, still lingers in a widespread fashion throughout the population, to the point that almost every humanitarian organization, most genocide scholars, the international communities, all find this to be a genocide. These NGOs are willing to put pressure on Israel as well. These countries are starting to recognize Palestinian statehood as the first step towards mounting pressure also on Israel to forgo this genocide. Unfortunately, again, we're the big dogs, and MAGA and Donald Trump, by virtue of a $100 million check from the Adelsons, is bought and paid for on this issue, and MAGA largely wants it to continue as well. So as the ones with all the chips in the equation, I doubt anything's going to change, unfortunately.
Making Gaza uninhabitable may be the point, according to Israel's finance minister, while the lives of millions of Palestinians hang in the balance and countless bodies have yet to be recovered from the rubble. Bezalel Smotrich says Israel's done with the demolition phase and is now talking with the United States on how to divide up the spoils of war.
There's a business plan set by the most professional people there is and is on President Trump's table, and how this thing turns into a real estate bonanza. I'm not kidding, it pays off. Paid a lot of money for this war, so we need to divide how we make a percentage on the land marketing later in Gaza. And now, no kidding, we've done the demolition phase, which is always the first phase of urban renewal.
We should be all the way clear. This is not a war. This is a genocide. Israel has occupied Palestine for over 6 decades, has launched countless attacks, controlled their ports and borders. It was not sunshines and rainbows on October the 6th. It was brutal apartheid. We should not act like it wasn't or do revisionist history where, again, October the 7th was horrific. It was unjustified. It was a terrorist attack. Don't minimize that either, of which Israel tried to use then to justify killing 50 times the amount of civilians they lost that day, 20 times in just children they've killed, right? With the majority of Gaza now being destroyed, millions being displaced, and they're now publicly talking about, let's split up the land with Trump for profits. It's sick and vile. They're making jokes almost of ethnic cleansing as they're doing it. This is who MAGA is.
Now, as all of this is happening, we're also monitoring a situation that took place at the Allenby crossing between Jordan and the West Bank, controlled by Israel. According to reports, a driver of a humanitarian aid truck that was headed from Jordan to the Gaza Strip opened fire at that crossing, killing 2 individuals. It's not clear if those individuals were soldiers or civilian employees of that crossing. The Israeli military calling this shooting a terrorist attack, and as a result, halting all humanitarian aid shipments through this land route from Jordan to the Gaza Strip, while there is an inquiry that is completed and the implementation of what they're describing as revised screening procedures for Jordanian drivers. And so that suspension of aid from Jordan to Gaza will likely impact about 100 to 150 trucks of aid per week, according to an Israeli military military official.
Now, don't get me wrong here. I trust Israeli reporting, things coming from the IDF pertaining about the IDF, about as far as I can throw them, but I don't have the facts on the ground to either confirm or deny the reporting itself. The thing I want to focus on, and what I find appalling regardless, is to pause all of the aid through that port just because of this. As famine is hitting, starvation is spreading, people are dying of sickness and in need of aid as disease is spreading rapidly, and they're taking measures that are going to allow in less trucks. Like right now, it's insensitive at best, it's immoral, it's unjust, and in my opinion, I think it's part of a larger pattern of using any excuse they can to withhold as much aid as they can to up the cruelty, which just further highlights how that is the point. The cruelty is the point, not an unfortunate circumstance as far as Israel is concerned.